Was that something that you drilled? Was that a little bit of improvisation? What was that?
They'll have to say now, I'm just, the way they say, I just got a left hand. They'll have to say, I've just got a left shoulder as well. A left hand and a left shoulder. The so-called experts of the game, when they'd be breaking down my skill set, they'd be saying, I'm just a fighter with a left hand, which is highly disrespectful and uneducated. And I'd be surprised that so many of the supposedly knowledgeable people, they'd be just claiming it as that. So it's a good shot in the clinch. You can really catch a man. So I knew I caught him with the first one off guard, and then I caught one or two more, and when we separated, the nose and the eye was bust. And it's a good shot. I've utilised that many times in the gym, and happy with it.
You ultimately finished him with punches, but the high kick was a big part of the finish. I'm curious, obviously that's kind of his signature move in a lot of ways. Was that something you wanted to execute, or?
Yeah, no, of course. I knew Donald has the most head kick knockouts in UFC history. I was saying to Megan backstage, that's the equivalent of a world title to me, to having a record like that, the most head kick knockouts. So, but at the same time, and I knew he was planning to knock me out with a head kick. I knew he wanted everyone, what if Donald catches the head kick and all this. I knew this was what Donald would have been envisioning and his team. They would have been practicing how to set me up with the high kicks. But at the same time, I noticed Donald has many discrepancies in leans and dips and under certain attacks that can also set him up for the high kick. So the high kick was something I thought I could catch him with also.
His grandmother came in and spoke with you. I'm curious if you could share the details of that conversation.
She's just a phenomenal woman, that lady. She's there from the first fight of the night till the final fight of the night, and even after the bout came over, and she just showed me respect, and I showed her respect, and it was great to finally meet her. You know what I mean? You see her; she's a prevalent part of the game, isn't she? Right? When Donald's fought so much, and that lady's there from the start of the night to the finish. Man, what a lady, and what a man she's raising. Very, very, very honoured to share the cage with Donald, and very proud. He's a good man, and he's got good people behind him, and much respect.
Yeah. Last thing for me, Conor, we had a chance to speak with Dana already. I know there's a lot of options on the table, but he seems to think lightweight title shot is the best move for you going forward. Now, you've come out and said, at least I guess to him and to publicly, that fight is not going to happen between Khabib and Tony. I'm curious what kind of deadline you would be, because you'd certainly be in line for the winner. But if you could slide in, that would be pretty impressive. But is there like a deadline?
No, I don't think the who matters, right? I think the lightweight title will be there, right? That will be there. You see the difference in the physique, the preparation, and that, and that will come back around that shot. So I'm certainly not gonna, if this fight does go ahead, sit out and wait for it through holidays and injuries and all this type of thing that goes with it. So. The who doesn't matter for me now. It's just I'm looking at dates now, and I know March was there, and I'm going to have a look at the calendar and see where we're at. And Lorenzo gets back in from Panama on Tuesday, so I'll toast a fine Irish whiskey with Lorenzo. I always look to do that, a tradition. I was talking with Dana, so he gets back on Tuesday to Vegas, so I'll stay here, and I'll go for dinner and a toast with Lorenzo and Dana, and I'm sure we'll chat about it then and see what's what. So. I'll be ready. I'll have a celebration tonight. I'll chill with my kids tomorrow. I'll show Junior the fight on the telly, see how he reacts to it, see what he thinks of it. And then back to training. When you before a fight, you taper off for the final 2 weeks. So if you get a quick win and then you kind of go off, then all of a sudden it can be 4 weeks without a full training. You know what I mean? Without a real training session. And then you've slipped behind again. So I'm going to make sure not to do that. And get a good session in the day after tomorrow and carry on.
Conor, on your victory, very impressive.
Thank you.
Just kind of curious why you let yourself get in that before, where you didn't do those things that you're just talking about you did now. What was it that put you in the bad spot?
I achieved it all, right? I broke the game before I was 30 years of age. Simple as one belt became not enough. One belt's almost not even enough anymore. You got to get the two to even start questioning or start earning a big style. So maybe that I achieved it all. John always says the worst. My coach says it's the worst nightmare for a coach if it's a student that achieves it all. the money, the fame, the belts, all of this. What then to motivate me? So I probably had to go through that and then just come back for it for the love. Like I got into it in the first place for the love. So and everything's a learning curve, and you learn what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? So.
Did you ever have a point like after the Khabib fight where you just were sitting there thinking about what you did and thought, I made a mistake here, I made a mistake here, because you still have achieved everything, right? But you went into this fight and performed. So obviously something changed from your preparation in the Khabib fight to this.
Yeah, just my commitment, I wasn't committed. And for me, it was just a disrespect to the people that believe in me. So if I'm forming a team and I'm building, look, it feels like the world lights up when I make the walk, right? Everyone's so invested in it and excited by it. And then I've got the team of people that are behind me and putting their all and taking time away from their family and their people to come help me. And then I'm not committed with it, So I'll go training and then I'll go missing for 3 days and then I'll come back and it's sporadic and it's on my call and I'll ring and say, hey, we're in the gym now in the next half an hour. Make sure everyone's there. I just felt like I disrespected the people that believed in me and supported me, and that's what led me to recenter myself and get back to where I was at.
I wonder if you feel like you can turn that Khabib fight into a fight like this, where I know you want to win the fight, but will it get nasty, or will it be a fight where you're able to do what you did here and people really, it seemed like they fell back in love with you like they had done several years ago?
It's got very personal with that man and his team, and look, it is what it is. I make no promises. I am who I am, and it is what it is. So I'll certainly be focused on the skill sets. You know what I mean? We have a particular skill set, myself and that man. He holds on to the legs, and I come for it. So I'll be excited to get that one back. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the Tony fight. Tony's another interesting foe for me. See what happens. If something happens, I'll be here.
Just to the opinion of that fight, do you think, everybody talks about Khabib has won 28 in a row. I think Tony's won 16 or 17 in a row. Do you think Khabib is a lock to win that, or do you see a way Tony could win that fight?
A fight's a fight. Tony's hittable, but he's awkward and he's rangy and he's, you know what I mean? So anything can happen. We'll see what happens.
And then finally, how did things change if you have to make a weight cut? So in this fight, you didn't have to do that. You go into this fight, you're strong, you do that. Do you have to test in maybe training camp?
No, I won't test. I've done it before. I'm Mr. Weight Class. You know what I mean? I've gone through all the divisions, right? I've gone through 3 divisions now. So it's just about commitment. That's it. Just commit and just do what you know you need to do, and that's it. So tonight's my night, but I'm no different than, you know what I mean? All I did was just put in the work, and that's it. So if each one of us put in the work that we know we should do, we know what the work is we need to do. It's just sometimes you don't do it, and then when you say, okay, I got to do this, and you got to do it, and then you don't do it. That's like a defeat. And then those add up, and then your lack of interest to go do it actually wanes, and then you can get injured and all this type of thing. So for me, it's just about recognizing what needs to be done and do it strictly and do it. And that for me leads me to enjoy it more. And that's basically what happened this camp. So I could have made 155 this week. I ate up to 170. So I'd say I could have been about 169 in there on the night. And I'd say Donald had a bit to cut this fight for this camp. He was in the sauna since Wednesday. So I wouldn't be surprised if Donald was about 180 plus in there. So, but I tell you what, I felt energetic. I felt good and happy days. So, but I've experienced it all. I've experienced near blackouts for the Mendez weight cut. I had no nutritionist, no nothing. And I done it all myself, and it was a heavy weight cut. And then for the Aldo one, I done it correctly, and I felt okay. We had a nutritionist on board, and I felt good at 145, and I've obviously had amazing success down there. And then the 155, and then it's just about commitment. That's it. You put in the work, you'll reap the rewards. There's no secret sauce to this. Recognize what you need to do and fucking do it, and you will succeed.